Hi. Way back in 1978, my daughter, Debbie, then 15, said to me, "Dad, what's it feel like to be middle-aged?" What's it feel like to be middle-aged? I was 42. I'd only come back from Antarctica a couple of years before, or a year before. I was fighting fit, a ball of muscle, because I'd been weight training for years. So I said to her, and I thought about it for a while, I said, "Deb, do you mean young middle age or old middle age?" Now that threw her, because most people, when they think of middle age, don't really look at it carefully and say, well, where does middle age begin and end? There's a huge difference between young middle age, which can start from, say, your late 30s and go on to your 50s, and then old middle age, which might be from your late 50s or from your middle 50s into your early 60s. Most people don't think about that. And they certainly don't think about it when it comes to looking at retirees. Instead of saying, what's it like to feel like a retiree, they don't say, what's it feel like to be retired as a young retiree? What's it feel like to be retired as a middle-aged retiree? You see what I'm getting at? There's a huge spectrum between being young retired and old retired. I've been retired, that is out of the paid workforce now, for 29 years. I'm 88 years old, and in another 18 months I'll be 90. Can you imagine that? Retired at 59 and could well live to 90 and beyond. Long, long time. So when people ask you about retirement, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about your own retirement? Are you planning for a long retirement? Have you given it any thought at all? So many people don't. They invest all of their time, their energies, their thinking, their focus on their careers, on establishing themselves. Fair enough. And as I've said many times, almost ad nauseum now, there's the same amount of years between 25 and 55 as there are between 55 and 85, 30 years. Look at all the time we put into the first 30, all the effort, building our careers, making our mark, raising the family, and all of this stuff. And then one day, around about 55, that first 30 years is gone. You have another 30 ahead, but everything's different now. In all probability, the kids have left home. You're an empty nester, or maybe even living alone. What are you going to do with all that time? If you are a young retiree, now's the time to get out and do things while the legs are still working, while the mind is still working. Fill the bucket list if you can afford it. Don't leave yourself short. Go out there and do the adventures, do the active things while you can. This will probably last quite a long while. I know it has with me. I can still walk and do those sort of things, but I know that I'm slowing down. I know it. And I expect it. But if you run your life correctly, if you keep physically fit, keep your brain working, and most of all have something to keep you occupied, some purpose, something that takes you beyond yourself, then you will live a long, happy life. and the final part of it will be very short, very short. Hopefully, I was reading one of the comments of a person who often comments on my videos, saying that his father died at 86 in his sleep, fit to the end, and then just died peacefully at night in his sleep. That could happen to you, providing you look after yourself, providing you do all the things that will keep you physically and mentally fit right until the end. So when someone asks you about your retirement, say to them, are you talking about my early retirement, my middle retirement, or maybe towards the end of my retirement? Very important to distinguish the difference, because retirees nowadays are living a long, long time.